I want to start by asking our guest from Andhra Pradesh, Mr. Dinakar Lanka, why does Andhra Pradesh need to have the tallest secretariat building in the world?
It is the 100% requirement which we are using, world-class capital which we want to build. Keeping in view of that, we started our process. It's not just now we started this construction process. It started 4 years back itself. It is very much unique and a world-class capital we want to construct for the state of Andhra Pradesh. After losing Hyderabad, 50% revenue generating city for the United Andhra Pradesh, we lost it.
They are wasting public money. They are wasting public money by building these statues. It has become a political gimmick because after Gujarat, it is now Andhra Pradesh, then it is Uttar Pradesh. And I think with the election down the corner, everybody is trying to use public money for this. And no wonder this government is troubling RBI to release the important cash reserves. I think we need to stand up. And I'm happy that, Faye, you have taken up this issue. And this must be made a mass movement that public money will not be used for political interests.
You were very well said. Mr. Krishkumar, I just want to pick up from there. In Karnataka, you have Belur, you have Halibid, you have Mysore, you have the Chamunda Bette, you have Coorg, you have Chikmagalur. But you also have among the highest suicide numbers in the country. Ironically, you are building a Kaveri statue when the biggest problem in Karnataka is Kaveri water and the supply of that water for its people. Shouldn't that be the priority first?
This is the question of the integrity. This is a question of sovereignty of this country.
Aren't you, Mr. Bhaskar Ghosh, aren't you just rabble-rousing and playing for political points? What is the message you're sending with the Shivaji statue? What is the message you are sending with the Ram statue?
I am stating the fact.
You're spending our money on politics. You should be spending our money on farmers.
Vallabhbhai Patel is not a politics.
Patel.
Vallabhbhai Patel is an iconic, legendary figure of this country.
Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel.
And to commemorate him through building a statue will give a message throughout the country, throughout the world.
What about the Ram statue? What is the message you're sending with the Ram statue that you're going to build in Uttar Pradesh? What is the message you're sending?
This again, this is the Ram Janmabhoomi. The whole India is a Ram Janmabhoomi, and Ram is been implanted in every hearts of the Indian, and it is a religious. Ram is not only a religious monument. Ram is the ideal or the idol of the entire Hindu population of India. So Ram, this particular country's name
I'm
is
appalled. I'm appalled that you are talking of political messages. In fact, by idolizing particular individuals, you are destroying the social fabric of this country. You are making people insecure. No, and when these politicians are talking of tourism, have they done any research that the tourism contributes to barely 9% of the GDP? What are the footfalls? Even tourists that come to India is basically to Agra, to Hampi. They come for certain things. Nobody is going to come here to see a tall statue. And it is absolutely misguided, and the truth has now come out when they say political message and social message. They are using the taxpayers' money only for the political aggrandizement. I would like to ask you, on what basis are you deciding? How do you decide whose statue will be made? You are destroying the society. You are making the minorities insecure. And above that, you are not bothered about the common man. There are farmer widows who walked up in Maharashtra yesterday saying that they are not getting even what is due to them.
Bhaskar Ghosh, let Abha Singh make her point.
Give us time.
Money to buy cylinders.
No, but this is just one second. Everybody, just 1 second. Bhaskar Ghosh, 1 second, Abha Singh. Bhaskar Ghosh is arguing that you should give us time. I completely agree with you, Bhaskar Ghosh. Of course we should give you time. But what are you going to do with that time? What are you going to do with the money? Are you going to build statues? And your argument about churches and mosques, as much as you might like to want to bring in the religious angle, churches and mosques and temples are not built with taxpayer money. They are not built with taxpayer money. This is taxpayer money. It should be used for schools and for education and for hospitals and to feed hungry children and colleges.
Hospitals. Faye, even today, people are carrying boxes on their shoulders in Orissa and other states. They can't provide ambulances to carry dead bodies. Rather than doing that, they are making statues. It's a mockery of the common man. I mean, I am pained that this country where you cannot have ambulances to take people to hospitals, you can't provide vehicles to take dead bodies home, there are people carrying their wives and children on their shoulders. That is what they should have done.
You must see the records. You must see the records.
What record?
What I'm claiming is not claiming on the screen.
No,
it is a record that we are spending so much of money for the farmers, for the infrastructure, to maintain the law and order, to give the entire bootstrap to these poor people is never happened in the UP for last 15-20 years of the other regime.
And we're just going to put up on your screen the various plans that are being made by our state governments. You must remember, at the end of the day, we're not saying don't build. We're saying prioritize, because this is our money. Ask the citizens what the citizens want. Do we want more schools, better hospitals, more doctors, more medical colleges, more teachers, better roads, cleaner air, water supply, electricity supply? Is this what our state should be focusing on? And to address the argument of tourism and to compare tourism with other parts of the world, India has the oldest structures and the oldest monuments in the world. Look at how we are treating them. Look at the pathetic state in which we leave our monuments across the country in all of these states currently that are building new structures. Look at the safety offered to tourists who come to our country to see those monuments. The number of foreign tourists who get raped and attacked in our country is appalling and embarrassing. That should be our priority if we want to boost tourism. Do we actually want to be the country that gains a reputation across the world for being unsafe for tourists? What sort of tourism will we have then? We should be spending money maintaining the monuments we already have. We should be spending money putting up facilities around the monuments that we already have. We should be spending money feeding hungry babies who are dying. We should be spending money building better hospitals so that women in our country don't die in childbirth. So that children go to school, and when they go to school, they actually learn something because there's a teacher in that school. At the end of the day, viewers, any government in the world needs to provide its citizens with 5 basic things. 5 things. 5 things for free. Education, healthcare, clean water to drink, clean air, and safety. The richest man in our country doesn't have all 5. And the poorest has none. We don't need statues. We need these 5 things. And we will remind our governments, all of them, that we will not fall for this sort of political one-upmanship. Give us a state that gives us safety, that gives us clean water, clean air, education, and healthcare. Then build the statues.
If my voice and my words reach out to Karni Sena, I have a message for the Karni Sena. That Karni Sena, or rather I am making a mistake by calling them Karni Sena once again, or the Karni goons, or the Karni thugs. You people are high on self-pride, but are extremely low on human values. Because if a terrorist organization can get into a bus and shoot Malala in her head, then they can be called terrorists, why not you? If school children in Peshawar can be attacked and the attackers can be called terrorists, then why not you? Secondly, we have to understand that who are people who are funding them, which organization or which political party is supporting them. If we look back and we see, there were 4 people who were killed by, there were 4 people who had actually killed Pehlu Khan. And Pehlu Khan, if you remember, Pehlu Khan had given on his testimony, the last testimony, he took 4 names on his deathbed. And these 4 people were given government jobs later. Today, Mr. Yogi Adityanath has given clean chit to 20,000 people of the Bharatiya Janata Party. So these Karni Sena people have the assurity that whatever they do, They have the assurity that they will get a clean sheet and they will not be dragged into the courts. They will not be dragged in front of judges. So it is the political party which is governing the country right now responsible for what is happening. That is what I feel. And I would like Miss Ma'am Deepika, if she would answer to my questions.
Deepika ji?
Waliji, the question that you raised, that Yogi Adityanath has given a pardon to 20,000 people, that information is certainly not with me. And as far as Pelu Khan's case is concerned, it is sub judice. I would like to tell you and I would like to assure you that the Narendra Modi government is committed to Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. There has not been any discrimination in any kind of community. Law is equal for everybody, and the dignity of the law will be maintained. Narendra Modi ji himself has said that Constitution is his Bible. He has on various public platforms, he has condemned the Gaurakshaks. He has asked the state governments to make a dossier on them. He has said that ये लोग गोरख धंधा चला रहे हैं गौरक्षा के नाम पे. So I think it is these lumpen elements which are failing our society, and I do not wish to go into the political debate with you on this at all, but you are also aware of what is happening in West Bengal and what is happening in Kerala.
What does that mean? Does it mean? Oh, hang on.
No,
That is a terrible answer.
I said.
That is a terrible answer to give to an 18-year-old panelist to ask you a question. How is it relevant? How is it relevant? What is happening in West Bengal and Kerala? Are you telling me that it makes it okay to throw stones on children in Delhi?
No,
is it okay then to beat up children in Indore?
I have already said that it is not right on my part. I have already
you
said
know that this whataboutery will not fly on this show.
Too small to be getting into any political.
No. He is exactly the age. He is exactly the age to ask this question because he is a voter and he's going to begin voting. And it is his right to ask these questions. You cannot turn around and say he's too young to get into this sort of thing. If he's too young to get into this sort of thing, then don't throw stones on our children.
No. Who is throwing stones?
Who's throwing stones? The Karni Sena is throwing stones. Now, who allowed the Karni Sena? Who allowed the Karni Sena to get this bold? Please tell me. Who allowed the Karni Sena to get this bold?
Section 144 was imposed all across.
So then, how did enough of them get together with stones in their hands if 144 was imposed? Tonight, I'm going to tell you a story that needs to be told. It needs to be told over and above everything else that will be told to you at prime time. This is a story about 1,000 families in Mumbai. Their only crime is that they're poor. And because they're poor, the government of Maharashtra and the BMC in Mumbai thought that they could crush their voices and take advantage of their poverty.
इसके लिए हम लोग के इतना पब्लिक को बच्चों को पढ़ाई छुटा नौकरी नहीं मरने के लिए भेज दिए इधर
इतना 3 लड़के हैं कैसे पढ़ाओ उसको कैसे समझाओ इतना पैसा जा रहा है आज इधर धंधा भी नहीं है कुछ नहीं है
ये प्रदूषण ये फैक्ट्रीज तो बंद होने वाली नहीं है लेकिन हमारी जिंदगी स्टॉप हो जाएगी
घर में कोई कमाने वाला नहीं है जो कमाने वाला था तो मर गया अभी हम किसको बोले किसको नहीं बोले हम विद्या विहार में रहते थे तो हमको कोई तकलीफ नहीं था जब से इस माहौल में आए हैं ना तब से ही हम लोग का हाल है
Nearly 30,000 citizens virtually sentenced to death. Respiratory problems, eye and skin irritation, urinary infections, tuberculosis and cancer. Illnesses that have become far too familiar to these 30,000 people residing in the heart of Mumbai, Mahul. Houses lost, forcefully shifted to uninhabitable colonies and prone to diseases. These residents have only the BMC to blame for their sorry state of affairs.
हमारा छोटा झोपड़ा था ना हमारा ताजमहल था हमको बहुत अच्छा था और सुखी थे ये आके इधर माहौल गांव में फेंक दिए बीमारी बढ़ती है बच्चे लोग की बीमारी हम लोग की बीमारी इनका लाइफ कैसे बनेगा आगे गवर्नमेंट को सोचना चाहिए था कि इनका लाइफ बनाओ।
हवा और पानी से और प्रदूषण भी यहाँ पे बहुत है और मेरे बच्चों को यहाँ पे स्कूल भी छोड़ गए, 6-7 महीने से लोग घर पे ही बैठे।
Mahul is a heavily industrialized area known to be polluted by emissions from nearby oil refineries for several years. The polluted air causes breathing difficulties. The polluted water causes skin diseases. And the land is filled with garbage and also stagnant water from badly managed sewer systems.
पापा तो उनको कैंसर हो गया, तो एक मई को डेथ हो गया उनका। अभी फिलहाल मैं बीमार हूँ, मेरे को टीबी का बीमारी हुआ है और मेरी मम्मी भी बीमार है। पैसा खर्चा हो गया कि घर में कोई कमाने वाला नहीं है, जो कमाने वाला था तो मर गया, चला गया। अभी हम किसको बोले किसको नहीं बोले। हम विद्या विहार में रहते थे तो हमको कोई तकलीफ नहीं था। जब से इस माहौल में आए हैं ना, तब से ये हम लोग का हाल है बस।
A 30-year-old mother who shifted just 3 months back told us about the illnesses her toddlers suffer. Her 3 kids, aged 3, 4 and 6, have been plagued by illness due to the air and water. Their tender skin have developed boils and patches.
तो अच्छा था, जब ये 1.5 महीना 2 महीना तो अच्छा था, अभी ऐसे हुआ है। अभी 15-20 दिन से ऐसा हुआ है, पहले कुछ भी नहीं था। 2 महीना तो आराम से लोग थे, उसके बाद में ऐसा हुआ। अभी 15-20 दिन से हुआ है।
What's worse is doctors have also predicted cancer in some of the residents they have treated. The reason they claim the polluted lifestyle in Mahul.
यहाँ पर आने के बाद हम लोग चारों जन बच्चे भी 2 और हम भी 2 बीमार हो गए, लेकिन इनको पानी की वजह से, हवामान की वजह से इनको बहुत तकलीफ हुआ। किडनी के ऊपर सूजन है, लीवर पर सूजन है और डॉक्टर लोग बोल रहे कि अभी उनको इतना सारा सब बीमारी हो गया है तो उनको कैंसर भी होने का संभव है, ये सब बोल रहे हैं उनको।
Mahul residents blame the BMC for their endless suffering as they claim that life was perfect and happy in their huts.
को जीना है, हमारे बच्चों को जिंदगी देनी है। नहीं, आपने जो हमको सुविधा तुम्हारी हमको नहीं चाहिए, हमारी तुम्हारी बीएमसी हमको किसी काम की नहीं, हमको सिर्फ चाहिए हमारी जिंदगी। हमको यहाँ से निकलना है, बस निकलना है और कुछ नहीं करना है। आप बोलते हो स्वच्छ भारत का जो नारा लगाते हो, क्या हम स्वच्छ भारत रखेंगे? तुम सिर्फ अपने लिए रहते, तुम 4 दिन यहाँ रह के देखो, तब आपको पता चलेगा कि यहाँ की नर्क की जिंदगी किस तरह की जी जाती है। यहाँ आने के बाद 100 से ज्यादा लोग यहाँ मर गए। यहाँ सबके घर में आए दिन माहौल से एक बॉडी जाती है हर एक वीक पे।
लेकिन बच्चे को पढ़ाने को स्कूल तो नहीं चाहिए। हाँ, इतना 3 लड़के हैं, कैसे पढ़ाओ उसको, कैसे समझाओ? इतना पैसा जा रहा है, आज इधर धंधा भी नहीं है।
I don't understand the debate. I don't know how to start it. What are we arguing here? Is the government of Maharashtra led by Mr. Devendra Fadnavis, does it have a special authority to sentence little children to death? Is this what Mr. Fadnavis has been given by the Constitution? The right to take away people's lives, the right to take away their livelihood, the right to take away the right to education. He can sentence people to death by cancer, TB and other toxic diseases. I don't understand what part of the Constitution gives Devendra Fadnavis this authority. I'm going to start with Mr. Prakash Gangadhare. Mr. Gangadhare, please tell me, under what law, ऐसी कौन सी हमारी कानून है जो देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी को ये छूट देती है कि लोगों को मार डाले ऐसे?
देखिए, माहुल की बस्ती जहां वो पीएपी बनाई वो करीबन 10 साल पहले की सरकार ने बनाई है।
तो
जब हम डिमांड कर रहे थे जहां भी पीएपी हो, हर वार्ड में जितने भी मुंबई महानगर पालिका के वार्ड है वहां अनेक प्लॉट ऐसे होते हैं जहां
अभी आपकी सरकार है कि नहीं?
अभी हमारी सरकार है ना, हम ध्यान दे
बीएमसी
रहे
में
हैं।
आपकी सरकार, अभी आप भाजपा के हो, भाजपा की सरकार अभी बीएमसी में है।
यस यस।
राज्य सरकार स्टेट गवर्नमेंट में है, नेशनल गवर्नमेंट में है। और क्या चाहिए आपको, बताइए मुझे, और कौन सी अधिकार चाहिए आपको इन लोगों को बचाने के लिए? पिछले 1 साल से ये लोग मर रहे हैं वहां पे और आप लोगों ने कुछ नहीं किया, और आप अभी आके मुझे 10 साल पहले की कहानी सुना रहे हो।
यस, ये बात सही है कि किसी को भी अच्छा घर होना चाहिए।
अच्छा घर? जिंदगी चाहिए लोगों को सर, अच्छे घर की बात नहीं है।
अच्छा घर होना चाहिए, अच्छे सुविधा होना चाहिए। मैं यही चाहता हूं कि हर जगह अच्छी सुविधा हो, ऐसे हमने डिमांड पहले से की है।
किससे किया? अपने आप से किया?
मुंबई महानगर पालिका में इसी के ऊपर बहुत सारी बहस हुई।
आपने देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी से बात की?
हमने देवेंद्र फडणवीस से, हमने भारतीय जनता पार्टी के गठन नेता ने भी बात की।
तो फडणवीस जी आपके बात नहीं मानते? तो फडणवीस जी
बात मानते हैं, सुनिए,
राज्य के सीएम होके आपकी बात नहीं मान रहे,
बिल्कुल
उन्होंने छोड़ दिया इन लोगों को मरने के लिए।
ध्यान देना चालू भी किया है।
कब करेंगे? मरने के बाद? कब करेंगे? कितना टाइम लगता है फडणवीस को ध्यान देने के लिए?
आयुक्त के पास हमने 300 करोड़ वहां की बस्ती की सुधार हो।
हमें आपके पैसे से कोई लेना देना नहीं है। आप लोग हमें बताइए, भाजपा अभी शहर चला रही है, राज्य चला रही है, देश चला रही है, और क्या चाहिए आपको इन बच्चों को बचाने के लिए? क्या चाहिए आपको?
पोल्यूशन के बारे में अभ्यास हो रहा है, उसी का रिपोर्ट नेशनल ग्रीन ट्रिब्यूनल के तरफ से महाराष्ट्र पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड पे अभी उसका रिपोर्ट आ जाएगा।
पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड को मैं बताऊं कि हाईकोर्ट ने क्या कहा। हाईकोर्ट की बेंच ने कहा है कि नेशनल ग्रीन ट्राइब्यूनल
अब उसके ऊपर अभ्यास हो रहा है।
अब अभ्यास करने के हमारे पास आपके टाइम नहीं है, टाइम नहीं है, क्योंकि आप लोग जो कर रहे हो गलत कर रहे हो।
हमने गलत किया नहीं, वो 10 साल पहले।
आप मान लीजिए कि आपने गलत किया है। जब से आपका सरकार आया, आप लोगों ने आपने इन लोगों को बचाया क्यों नहीं? क्यों नहीं बचाया आपने?
वो प्रयत्न अभी हॉस्पिटल भी बना रहे वहां।
अच्छा, तो पहले मतलब लोगों को बीमार करेंगे और उनके लिए अस्पताल बनाएंगे।
सरकार कब आई? अभी हमने ध्यान दिया, मुख्यमंत्री अभी 4 साल हुए।
4 साल में हमने हमारा 1000 लोगों को वहां शिफ्ट नहीं कर सकते थे आप वहां से?
और इसलिए तो हमने महानगर पालिका में हमने प्रस्ताव दिया है, महानगर पालिका आयुक्त का हमने प्रस्ताव दिया है कि हर वार्ड में एक तरफ से एक ही साइड पूरे मुंबई के लोग, हिंदुस्तान के जितने भी लोग हैं यहाँ के, एक तरफ आएंगे तो उनकी सुविधा नहीं हो सकती है। इसी के लिए हमने प्रस्ताव दिया है कि हर वार्ड में पीएपी बने, हर जगह प्लॉट महानगर पालिका के।
एक विजुअल देखिए जो हमारी स्क्रीन पे चल रहे बच्चों का, वो बच्चे ना स्कूल जाते हैं, जितने वो घर पे रहते हैं और बीमार हो जाते हैं।
बहुत अच्छी बात।
तो आप लोग सोच रहे हो ना, सोच लीजिए, जब तक ये सारे बच्चे बीमार ना हो फिर आप उनके लिए आप ये दवाई खाना बना दीजिए, अस्पताल बना दीजिए। तो पहले सारे बच्चे बीमार करेंगे, फिर उनके लिए अस्पताल बनाएंगे। अच्छी प्लान है आपकी।
ये तो बस्तियां अभी नहीं है, पहले से बस्ती बनी हुई है ना।
उनको शिफ्ट पिछले साल किया था, आपकी सरकार ने उनको वहां पे शिफ्ट किया था। बस्ती बनी होगी लेकिन उनको शिफ्ट करने की क्या जरूरत थी? आप क्या समझा रहे हो मुझे?
देखो, महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट ने जहां जहां भी आप एक ऐसे लोग हैं उनके लिए बस्ती बनाई है, पीएपी बनाई है।
कहां? अभी इंडस्ट्रियल एरिया में।
अभी वो उसके लिए सोचेंगे ना, उसके लिए अभ्यास चल रहा है।
आपके पास टाइम नहीं मिला, इतना सारा इलेक्शन चल रहा है हमारे देश में, आप लोगों के पास सोचने के लिए टाइम ही नहीं है। आप जनता के बारे में क्यों सोचेंगे? आप तो इतने बिजी रहते हो। गुजरात में इलेक्शन है, कर्नाटक में इलेक्शन है, पता नहीं कहां कहां पे इलेक्शन है। आप मुंबई के बारे में क्यों सोचेंगे?
बिल्कुल सोचते हैं मुंबई के बारे में।
तो कितना टाइम लगता है आपको सोचने में कि बच्चे मर रहे हैं, इसके बारे में हमें कुछ करनी चाहिए? ये थॉट, ये सोच, आपको कितना टाइम लगता है ये सोच करने की? बताइए मुझे।
कोई नहीं, हमारा प्रयत्न चल रहा है, मुख्यमंत्री उसमें ध्यान दे रहे हैं।
अच्छा, तो आपका कहना है कि मुख्यमंत्री जी मिस्टर देवेंद्र फडणवीस को ये प्रॉब्लम के बारे में जानकारी है?
बिल्कुल जानकारी है, और
उन्होंने कुछ किया ही नहीं। वेरी गुड,
कर रहे हैं ना काम।
अच्छा, वेरी गुड। So which means, ladies and gentlemen, let me make this very clear. Mr. Devendra Fadnavis, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, is fully aware of the plight of these citizens and what they are going through, and the fact that they are inhaling poison and drinking poison, and he has chosen not to do anything about it. That is the quality of the Chief Minister that we have in this state, and that is something we have to all realize. Mr. Prakash Gangadhar has confirmed to us on Mirror Now that Fadnavis knows about the problem and has not done anything about it. क्या आपने इस प्रॉब्लम के बारे में उद्धव ठाकरे को बताया? क्या उद्धव ठाकरे को इस प्रॉब्लम की जानकारी है, हाँ या ना?
साहब का जानकारी होगी, साहब को ना के बारे में बोल नहीं सकता, लेकिन साहब ने भी इसके बारे में बोला है बार बार।
अच्छा, तो आपका ये कहना है, दिस इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, श्रीकांत शेट्टी का ये कहना है कि अगर उद्धव ठाकरे को भी प्रॉब्लम के बारे में जानकारी है तो उद्धव ठाकरे भी कुछ नहीं कर सकते। तो शिवसेना को कोई भला वोट क्यों देगा?
नहीं
क्यों चला रहे हैं आप लोग बीएमसी? छोड़ के जाइए फिर।
नहीं बोल रहा हूँ,
प्रशासन को चलाने दीजिए, आईएएस ऑफिसर्स को चलाने दीजिए। आप लोग क्यों बैठे हो वहां पे?
पूरी मेरी बात सुनो मैडम, पहले मेरी
मुझे
बात
बस यही समझाइए कि इन लोगों को आप लोगों ने क्यों शिफ्ट किया और इनको आप क्यों रख रहे हो इस बिल्डिंग में? किसकी गलती है? मुझे नाम चाहिए अभी। किसकी गलती है? आपकी गलती है? उद्धव ठाकरे की गलती है? देवेंद्र फडणवीस की गलती है? मुझे नाम दे दो अभी। नाम दे दो।
मेरा प्रशासन के साथ में हमेशा विरोध रहा है। मेरा प्रशासन के साथ में हमेशा विरोध रहा है।
कौन है?
पहला लोगों की बिल्डिंग की व्यवस्था देखो, वहां के देखो 17,500 घर है वहां मैडम, लेकिन प्रशासन ने जो एसआरए बनाया है वहां पर एक भी मकान, एक भी दुकान नहीं, एक मेडिकल शॉप नहीं है।
Mr. Shete, you cannot get away with giving me this sort of nonsense. Who is this प्रशासन you are talking about? मुझे नाम चाहिए, आदमी का नाम दे दीजिए मुझे। आप किसके बारे में बात कर रहे हो?
प्रशासन आयुक्त तो चलाते हैं। कौन चलाता है प्रशासन?
ऑफिसर का नाम बताओ मुझे।
आयुक्त तो चलाते हैं। जब कोई बात रखे गए, नहीं आयुक्त तो कौन है आपको मालूम नहीं है मैडम?
Who is he talking about?
जो बात के ऊपर हम लोग कोई विषय रखे गए।
तो आप अजय मेहता की बारे में बात कर रहे हो तो बोलिए ना, अजय मेहता का नाम लीजिए ना। आप क्यों डर रहे हो? आप अजय मेहता के बारे में बात कर रहे हो।
हम उन्हीं को बोलेंगे ना, हम उन्हीं के ऊपर
तो नाम बोले ना उनका। क्यों डर रहे हो? आप कह रहे हो कि शिवसेना वाले अजय मेहता से डरते हैं।
प्रशासन का कमांडर वही है ना।
Okay, so you are blaming अजय मेहता।
काय को डरेंगे?
हाँ तो बोलिए ना, नाम बोलिए ना फिर।
वहां के लोगों की बात रख रहे हैं तो काय को डरने का? नहीं प्रशासन के बारे में मैं सभी अधिकारी का नाम लेना चाहता हूँ।
बिलाल खान,
हर विषय जो होता है, देखो मैंने बीपीसीएल के माध्यम से वहां मेडिकल सुविधा देना चाहता हूँ। अक्टूबर में प्रपोजल डाला, अभी तक मेरे को दिया नहीं।
तो आप लोग क्यों बनते हो फिर कॉर्पोरेटर? मुझे समझ में नहीं आता, सबका टाइम वेस्ट करते हो। आप बताइए मुझे, प्रकाश गंगाधर, लीडर ऑफ द बीजेपी, अजय मेहता, तो मतलब आप किसी चीज के बारे में आपके पास जवाब नहीं रहता, आप किसी और के इनाम लेते हो, तो आप करते क्या हो बताइए मुझे? कॉर्पोरेटर करता क्या
आपको चाहिए बोलो ना। नहीं क्या आपको
कॉर्पोरेटर
क्या करेगा? कॉर्पोरेटर वहां के लोगों के समस्या लेके प्रशासन के सामने जाएगा।
बस इतना ही काम है।
कॉर्पोरेटर प्रशासन के सामने जाएगा। निर्णय कौन लेगा? प्रशासन लेगा ना।
ठीक है,
कॉर्पोरेटर
कुछ नहीं
लेने का अधिकार है कॉर्पोरेटर को।
आप पोस्टमैन हो?
नहीं कॉर्पोरेटर को निर्णय लेने का अधिकार है क्या?
पोस्टमैन हो आप? चिट्ठी इधर से उधर पहुंचा सकते हो और कुछ नहीं कर सकते।
कॉर्पोरेटर को निर्णय लेने का अधिकार है क्या?
मतलब आप बोल रहे हो कि कॉर्पोरेटर पोस्टमैन हो, आप कुछ नहीं काम कर सकते। $100 million controversy, $1 million or 700 crore rupees, a pledge that the government of India decided to decline. Now, while the Kerala government was happy to accept all the help it would get, the central government had rejected the offer of bilateral aid from foreign countries. Now, remember, we already explained how this is in line with established policy and that India has the resources to handle its own calamities without help from other countries. But there's been a twist in the tale. According to the Indian Express, the UAE never formally offered us that money. The 700 crore was never on the table. So now the question is this: how did such a massive misunderstanding even occur between state centre and a foreign country? Well, let's break this down. First, the question we should ask is this: where did the amount of the value 700 crore even come from? So if we trace the timeline of this entire mess, on the 17th of August, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, who is the Vice President and the Prime Minister of the UAE and the ruler of Dubai, tweeted saying that the UAE is committed to help Kerala and Keralites, who are an integral part of the UAE. But there was no mention at all in his tweet about the amount, 700 crore or $100 million. Our Prime Minister responded with a tweet of his own the next day, thanking the Highness of the UAE for his gracious offer to support the people of Kerala and pointing out that his concern reflects that special ties between governments and the peoples of the two countries. Once again, no mention of an amount or funds in the Prime Minister Modi's tweet either. Last Tuesday, on the 21st of August, in his daily press conference, the Chief Minister of Kerala announced that the UAE has come forward and announced a 700 crore relief fund. This was the first mention of the number. Just a day after this announcement, unprecedented politics over relief began. The centre said thanks but no thanks. Other political parties jumped in. the Congress and other opposition parties condemned the Prime Minister for his stand. So where did the 700 crore rupee figure come from? As per the Chief Minister of Kerala, he received a phone call from a powerful Keralite businessman based in the Abu Dhabi, M.A. Yusuf Ali, the owner of a string of very popular supermarkets called the Lulu supermarkets. He happened to be the intermediary between the Kerala government and the Sheikh of UAE. See, I told you, powerful. Who confirmed, we understand, Yusuf Ali told the Chief Minister about the 700 crore rupee relief package that the Sheikh was willing to give. In fact, in a press conference that the Chief Minister held not long ago, he has reiterated this fact and confirmed it again. Now let me tell you this. The million-dollar controversy as it stands right now is that UAE offered to help Kerala but did not make any official communication on how much money they were willing to pledge, or even if that help was going to come in the form of funds at all. All conversations that might have taken place between Yusuf Ali and the Chief Minister are unofficial and therefore don't count. So, at 9 p.m. this evening, I'm very happy to tell you that the entire controversy is about an offer that never formally existed. So we can take a very clear stand. It's time to end the politics of relief. Politics, as usual in this country, is hijacking the real issues. Here are the real issues on your screen. What we need to do now is rebuild the state of Kerala. As the state of Kerala enters its Onam weekend, the biggest festival for any Keralite, they are staring at a miserable reality. Crop and agricultural loss of over 20,000 crore rupees in a rough estimate. Losses to livestock is colossal. Nearly 10,000 kilometer stretches of roads and bridges that need to be repaired. 1 lakh people who've lost their homes. Damages to schools and hospitals. Cancellation of the entire season of tourism and boat races. Loss of revenue in the Onam period, which is the highest revenue earning period for the state. Loss of stock in godowns and families that have lost all their earthly possessions. What do we need to do? We need to set aside our politics at this point. All of the politics that's being played by opportunistic state governments, opposition parties, central governments, and most of all the people on social media. Set it aside and do it right now. The only focus at this point should be building Kerala.
बहुत घटनाएं तो ऐसी होती है, काफी समय तक इकट्ठे घूमते रहते हैं और एक दिन थोड़ी गड़बड़ हो गई, उस दिन उठा करके और एफआईआर करा देते हैं। क्या इसने मुझे रेप किया, इसने मुझे छेड़ा।
Well, there's something very wrong with that comment, and it's not just the insensitivity and the inability for the Chief Minister to understand consent. First of all, he starts off saying rape cases have not increased. This used to happen and they'll continue to happen. So he's not only giving a clean chit to those who rape in his state, he's making excuses and denying the fact that there's been an increase of rape in his state. He goes on to say 80 to 90% are cases where the rapist knows the victim. In a lot of cases, couples hold each other's hands, and if there's a small fight one day, they go to the police and say, he raped me. First of all, he is sending a message that if the victim and the perpetrator of the crime or the accused know each other, then it's not rape. Effectively saying that if the boy was in your coaching class, in your neighborhood, if it was an uncle or your father's colleague, then effectively they have your consent to rape you.
I have not understood from where have you got this fact that he is saying that the women are lying. He has only stated a limited comment that said that as per the study, it has been found that 90 or 80% to 90% women know the men who are accused. That was the limited statement. It was this government, Manohar Lal ji's government, which made sure that the awareness is there, but made sure that all incidents are taken into account. Whether they are right or wrong is immaterial. That goes on to the second part.
Let me take the incidents into account. According to a report by the Hindustan Times, the number of rape cases in the state of Haryana under the watch of Mr. Manohar Lal Khattar has gone up 47%. 1,413 cases reported between 2017 and 18. Number of
From
cases
what time?
pertaining to kidnapping of women and
Year.
girls have gone
Please
up
also mention the year.
100%.
Please mention the year.
2017-18, Mr. Raman Malik.
Please mention the year.
Number of cases pertaining to kidnapping of women and girls have gone up 100%.
Now-
Number of cases of
now,
molestation
let me
gone up
ask you.
26%. Let me also point out to you that there's been a total of 70 cases of
Faye,
gang
let
rape
me
that have been
ask you.
filed in the state of
Let's
Haryana.
talk these.
There have
Let's
been
talk
zero
in a
convictions.
manner.
Mr. Raman Malik,
Let's
you
talk
can make
in a manner
excuses as
where
much
you
as you
ask one
want,
question
but
and
it's
I
when the
answer
Chief
you back.
Minister makes statements like this that he is sending a clear message to the police of the state, who he is the boss of, not to take rape seriously. To ask if she was his boyfriend
You
or
want to
girlfriend
debate
and did they
or
run
you
away
want to
together,
make a
and is
show?
she deciding
You
to
want
lie
to
about
debate?
it?
Let's
This is
debate.
exactly the kind of problem that you
Let's
already
debate.
have in
Let's
Haryana,
talk
and this
on
is the reason
figures.
why you have that
Let's
problem.
talk on figures. Faye,
What
Faye,
figures?
If you can
Give me
shout, I
any
can
figure
shout
you
too.
have. Give
if
me
you can
any
shout,
figure
I
you
can shout
have.
too. Let's debate.
Shout. Shout. Let the women of
See,
Haryana hear you.
Convicting somebody is the job of the judiciary. It is not you or me. We must understand that. It is the judge who is going to decide.
Without
it is
evidence?
the penal courts which are going to decide. Not you or me sitting in
Without
the studio.
evidence?
So evidences are given.
By whom?
Who is not giving the evidence? You
Who
show me
gathers
one
the
case where
evidence?
the evidences are not given.
Who gathers the evidence?
There are so many cases where...
Who gathers the evidence?
Okay. I would ask
Who gathers
you something.
the evidence, Mr. Raman
And
Malik?
I
Finish
can
the
quote-
train of
I
thought.
can quote an honorable
Why are you
judge.
changing the subject? Who gathers the evidence? Who gathers the evidence?
I am not changing the subject.
Who gathers the evidence?
I am not at all interested to change the subject.
Who gathers the evidence?
I am here to rebut to you each and every point.
Who
because
gathers
once
the
and for
evidence,
all,
Raman Malik?
I want to show this.
Who gathers
that
the evidence, Raman
statement
Malik?
has been twisted for certain other reasons.
Who gathers the evidence, Mr. Raman Malik?
I am giving you the evidence.
Who gathers
You
the
want the
evidence in a
evidence?
rape
I'll
case?
give you the evidence. I'm giving you the
Who
evidence.
gathers the evidence in a rape case? The police gathers the
Okay,
evidence in a
you
rape
tell me
case.
something.
Out of
I'm
the
giving
70
you- I'm
gang
giving
rapes
you the
that you
figures.
have in
Please.
Haryana, how many convictions?
These
70 registered gang rapes in Haryana, how many convictions? Zero.
there
Not
are
one. Zero.
The conviction is going to be done by the court or the government.
Investigation
Zero.
and evidence
So
gets
you are
collected
questioning
by the
the judges
police.
itself.
The public prosecutor has to fight
You
that
are
case.
questioning the judicial system of this
I am
country.
not questioning the judicial system, I am
So
questioning the
today
government of
on
Haryana.
record, Faye D'Souza is taking on the judiciary of India, stating that they
Mr.
are
Raman
not
Malik, I am not
convicting
afraid
anybody.
of you. I am questioning the government
Are
of
they supposed
Haryana.
to run as
I am
per
questioning the
D'Souza's
Chief
will,
Minister of
or they are
Haryana.
supposed to
I
run
am questioning
as
the
per
police of
the
Haryana.
judge-
I am
as
questioning
per
the
the
public
IPC.
prosecutor of Haryana. I am questioning your entire system. Apart from the horrific statement he has made this weekend, here are some of the other statements he's made about women in the past. If a girl is dressed decently, a boy will not look at her in the wrong way. Effectively putting the onus on women. Blaming women, victim shaming. If you want freedom, why don't you just roam around naked? Freedom has to be limited. These short clothes are Western influences. Our country's tradition asks girls to dress decently. Does our country's tradition not ask men not to rape? Is that not part of the tradition that we come from? Cups maintain the tradition of a girl and a boy being brother and sister. They're just making sure that a girl and a boy do not see each other in the wrong way. These rulings prevent rapes too. These are the panchayats that Mr. Raman Malik says the Khattar government has removed us from. It seems like Manohar Lal Khattar supports these panchayats. He goes on to say premarital sex is a blot. Sex after marriage is acceptable. Premarital sex happens as the minds of girls and boys are not on the right track. The stony silence that has come from the central government and the top brass of the BJP will not bode well going into an election, because guess what? While we might not have rights, we do have votes. And the women of this country will vote. And we will continue to tell these stories. Because if not anything else, we will at least have the truth.
talking about an individual. I'm talking about we as the citizens of the nation. Each and every citizen of this nation is given the equal right, the equal constitutional right, that if he is not satisfied and if he feels that I need to approach the higher courts for the decision in a particular case, then definitely we can approach.
Right, and while you say, we with regard to the people who form Asaram's team, do you also want to consider yourself a we with regard to the women of this country?
Because I feel that I am the citizen of a country.
Yes, let me finish my question.
I feel that I am the citizen of this country.
Do you also want to put yourself in the team of we as a woman of this country?
See, it's a very, very clear thing. An individual of India, Bharat, is given a constitutional right that if he or she feels that he is not satisfied with the judgment given by a particular court, a lower court, district court, then see, we can definitely approach the higher courts.
So what
it's
you're
very
saying,
clear. I clearly said, and I'm again and again
so you're saying, so what you're saying effectively is that you're not satisfied with this judgment. But I find it very curious that you find yourself standing with the team of Asaram, the rapist, but you can't find yourself standing with the team of the women of this country who have been fighting tooth and nail for simple justice for so long, to a point where from the Nirbhaya case to the case that happened 3 weeks ago, we've been out on the street demanding basic human rights in a country that you believe right now you have to come onto national television and advocate the rights of a convicted rapist, because you believe that you want to protect his rights to go to the next court, and that is his right. But you cannot for a second put yourself in the shoes of the girls who are saying that he raped them. You cannot for a second argue on behalf of the women of this country. You're going to continue to read out the rights of Asaram, the rapist?
That whosoever... I'll just read a small news item and then we can talk about it. Kerala priest raped because temptations. Church bagged magazine resorts to victim. Father Robin or Matthew of St. Sebastian Church in Kannur, Kerala was accused of raping and impregnating a minor. He fled the scene but was arrested for the heinous crime. This is a news, very recent one. Then
What
again
is the
we
date?
have another news item.
No, hang on. What is the date? You said recent one. What is the date?
Yeah, I'll just let you know.
Okay, I'm interested, Kritika, that you came prepared on this show with a list of rapes that you believe will intimidate me because of my religion, but I'll have you know that I leave my religion at the door before I walk into the studio, because my religion it does not matter. If any of these men have raped someone, they belong in jail, they belong to rot in jail just like Asaram. I don't care which priest you're talking about, and I don't care which religion. They are all rapists. If they've been accused, they will face the law. They will all rot in jail. And I don't stand with men of any religion. I stand with the women of this country. I stand with the women who have been raped, with the children who have been raped. And if you don't stand with the women and children, and you want to bring religion into this, then shame on you. Bring me those cases and I will bring them up on this channel, because I don't care about religion and I don't care about the men you are talking about. And I think that you have currently fallen to the pits of this argument. Pits of this argument that you think that you can upset me by my religion. I don't care. I don't care. A rapist is a rapist. Whether he is Hindu or Muslim or Christian, it doesn't matter. They will all rot in jail. And I think that the stunt you're pulling right now is not just amusing.
Has actually raped a woman. On 10th April 2018 in Mumbai and Thane, 20-year-old Abed has actually raped 4-year-old girl. On 10th April in Uttarakhand, Sajid has raped a girl. In March 2018 in Assam, 11-year girl was raped by Zakir Hussain and his 10th March 2018 in Kolkata. In a bus, 3-year-old girl was raped.
I'm going to stop Kritika right now, because I think that this is the most unfortunate thing that could ever happen in a country. And for it to have to come out from a woman's mouth. I'll tell you what is common about all of those cases you called out just now, Kritika. All the victims were women and children. all the victims were women and children. And that is what you should be advocating for, not the religion. Not the religion. I'm going to cut you off at this point because I think what you have done is the most despicable. No, stop talking.
But I am
stop
just
talking.
saying
No,
that
stop talking.
we need to
Cut off her
we
mic.
need to
Stop talking. I think what you have done is the most despicable, low-life thing that could have been done in the face of what is happening today. We are talking about women and children who are being violated on a daily basis in this country, and you can do nothing but not see past your own religion and see past my religion. My religion doesn't matter. I believe in only one book, and that book is the Constitution. And in our Constitution, women have equal rights and children have equal rights. And in our Constitution, rapists go to jail irrespective of their religion. It doesn't matter to me what religion you are talking about, and you will not scare me or intimidate me by bringing up my religion. I don't care. You might think that I'm a religious minority, but I'm a gender minority. There are fewer women in this country than there are men because we are killed at birth. That's what bothers me. There are fewer women in this country than there are men because they are killed before they're born. And that's what bothers me. And that is the minority I stand with. And that is the team I stand with. And God forbid, as a woman yourself, that you pulled a stunt like this. Thank God for our courts today that they don't see this sort of nonsense and they don't care about religion. This visual, you remember, of a pomegranate farmer in Maharashtra flinging the pomegranates on the floor out of frustration because he was only getting a price of 10 rupees a kilo. This other visual came out of Nasik, where a farmer dumped onions on the road because he didn't have the money to take them back to his farm, and even if he did take them back to his farm, where would he store them? It was simpler to dump it on the road. Now, of all of the 13 protests we've covered on this channel, they've all involved a demand for better farm pricing. And so we decided to understand what's really going on. Now, my colleague Disha Shah followed farmers and their produce from the farm to the market to your sabzi mandi to trace the number of times the vegetables change hands and the various people who make a cut along the way. The process really takes all night. Farmers in India put approximately, for example, 10 rupees to grow 1 kg of tomatoes. Their costs include labor, seeds, fertilizer, water, electricity, and diesel. Rent on their equipment as well in some cases. And when they take their produce to the market, they come across a slew of people ranging from transporter agents, traders, wholesalers, retailers, small retailers, before their produce reaches the customer. During this time, the price of a kg of tomato rises, and you and I buy it for between 20 or 25 rupees. But the farmer is not making any more than 2 or 3 rupees. Remember, the cost of the driver, the truck, the loaders, the fuel, the entry fees and the parking fees of the APMC market are deducted before the farmer is finally paid. So putting it simply, this is where we are. The cost of producing 1 kilo of tomatoes is 10 rupees. The farmer makes, after spending 10 rupees, he makes 2 rupees a kilo. A loss of 80%. No business makes sense on those numbers. Neither you nor I would enter or invest in any business that functioned on that mathematics. Now, the cycle is no different for other vegetables like onions, potatoes, or brinjals. And what's troubling is that the farmers aren't even getting a proper auction for their produce in the APMC market, which should be the norm. Instead, wholesalers tend to have pre-arranged deals with traders, and the brunt of that is felt by the farmer who is not given a choice. No wonder then, farming is no longer viable.
I will say that this government has first time has seen the entire problem in a very unified and integrated way. How? Let me see how.
How?
We have launched couple of programs and couple of facilities like that Inam portals, then e-Rakam portals, then Agri Udan 2017, and then we have this negotiable warehousing receipt.
Okay,
And
e-Rakam portal.
at the end, we have the Gram Sambad mobile apps. And what is the objective of all these things? The biggest problem for this country was the producer is not getting the right price and the consumer is paying the more price. So in between the slabs, there is a lot of intervention and which had the value-added effects.
Mr.
Now,
Bhaskar
these
Ghosh, one
two
second.
portals,
Forgive
which
me, I have to
mentioning-
stop you for a second because just to go over the points that you have noted, Enam portal, e-Rakam portal, warehousing receipts and mobile apps. Disha, did you come across any of this when you met with the farmers or the wholesalers?
Not at all.
Mandar?
Yeah, Bharat Net projects.
May I
Yeah.
talk about Enam?
Just one second, Mandar.
No. The thing is, these are
Your
all
question
things
was-
which are floated.
Let
but
me
that-
answer
those are
your
not
question.
yet-
talked
Let me
about,
allow
but
me to
nothing is
finish.
on the
Nothing
ground.
is percolated.
No,
Nothing
your
is
question
percolated,
was what
and
government
especially
has
at the
done.
major,
Your question was what
I was asking a
government
very
has done.
specific question
Then
about
you're
what we've
talking that
discovered.
whether
Okay,
they know or
but you
not.
gave me the name of four projects.
That's something. Let us restrict to academic questions what we are today discussing. That what are the governments has taken the steps in
No, okay, so
order
you want to ask academic questions, Mr. Ghosh.
in
I'll
order
ask
to-
you academic questions. Mr. Bhaskar Ghosh, the government of India has withheld from the general public the total number of farmers' suicides that took place last year, which should have been released with the NCRB data, but was not. It was instead handed over to the Agriculture Ministry and never released to the general public. Now, we do not know how many farmers in India committed suicide after the decision of demonetization and GST were taken. Why is the government withholding that information? Academically, please, answer the question.
Yes. The question is that, first of all, you are correlating these two issues, that the farmer's debt with demonetization, which absolutely, according to me, is not right. I cannot say wrong, but it's not a right. Number two, if we have published this particular figure, right, every death in this country, be it farmer, be it non-farmer, especially farmers, is painful. So number of farmers' death may be, it's very important for a debate. But question is that government is sympathetic, government is very reactive, and government is absolutely sensitive towards this farmers issue, and which governments is time to time is trying to rectify if there is any fault, but try to improve.
No.
My-
How are
your
you doing
question
that
is
by
that
not
why
releasing the
government has
numbers
not
into the
given-
public space? Also, the NCRB, which is the National Crimes Records Bureau, has been releasing this number on an annual basis for several years. It's only in the last 1 year that the number has not been released. How is this the answer to my question? Why has the number not been released?
Yeah, that is no, I mean, that is the job of the agriculture departments, and it is their job to release it. And specifically, I cannot say that why, because it should not happen. If it has happened like this, it should not happen that we don't releasing the numbers. But I'm not going by the numbers. I'm talking about the death of any farmer is absolutely unfortunate for this country, for the government, and for the party.
Our farmers, the ones who are growing vegetables, are in a terrible, terrible position. How are they going to sow the next crop of vegetables? How will they go out and buy the tomato seeds, which are expensive? How will they pay for the electricity that will pump water into those fields to make sure the onions don't dry up and die? Remember, we are entering now the dry phase. January, February, March, April, May, until hopefully it rains in June. This is the difficult phase. This is the dry phase. The intervention that is needed right now from governments, both state and centre, of every political party and every sort of political philosophy is of paramount importance. This will be the most important thing. You need to immediately convene sessions of Parliament and Assembly to figure out what you're going to do to solve this problem. Or, in the next 6 months, we're going to be hiding the farmer suicide numbers from the general public again, like we did last year. The government will have to find a way to bury the problem even further. And this is not about politics. I don't care about your politics. This is about the fact that 60% of our Indian brothers and sisters depend on farming as a life source. This is their job. And it is a job that is losing 50 to 80% per crop. And these are people who are not a priority at this point for anyone. They have to at least be a priority for us. We have no right to the dinner we are about to sit down to unless we raise our voices for the farmers. Say something, read about it, do something about it. Write to your local politician, write to your MP, insist that the first discussion that happens in the winter session of Parliament be about farmers. Insist that our governments, both state and centre, sit down and put our farmers first. Insist because you can where our farmers can't. We cannot allow our farmers to die in this manner over the next 6 months. It's not fair. Thanks for watching.